So this video is for the about like how to rebuke Muslims, right? Because I've seen some brothers and sisters. Sometimes they're very curious and don't really know how to speak to Muslims, like if I'm gonna rebuke them or not, or this or that, right? Anyone else wants to listen as well, you can. So when it comes to the Muslims, right? Yes, you can rebuke the Muslims, right? But our goal there is not to just argue with them or kind of a little similar with the Christians, but like see, like with the Christians, you can even get very sharp on them if you overly easy to, right? Kind of same thing with the Muslims, but like you're not really there just to like be even like too sharp on them. You're just there trying to correct them or rebuke them. But if you overly easy to get sharp because you guys that need to get sharp before, yeah, you can get a little sharp on them. But if they're just there to argue and argue, just get rid of them or remove them, or just say what you gotta say, and just go about your way. But when it comes to the Muslims, right? We always shown me and it helped me in some talents I've snagged from some brothers and sisters. So in Quran, you use their own Quran, right? In Quran chapter 548, it says they have nothing else to stand on unless they believe in the Injil, the Torah, and the Gospel, right? So basically, these Muslims don't have any faith. They have nothing to stand on unless they go read the Injil and the Torah, right? The Gospel, the Injil, which is the Gospel, right? So basically, their own Quran is saying they have to believe in the Gospel, but in order to believe in the Gospel, you have to convert to the true God, Jehovah, not this Antichrist Allah guy, which actually means 666 in the Greek. I'm putting multiple things while I'm speaking, right? And after you can go on about that, and then off that you can go say what you got, what the brothers usually say, Ten Commandments, and why you're not keeping the Ten Commandments, etc. In order to believe in the gospel, you have to be converted to the true God Jehovah. And you ask them, why is your own Bible, your own book says you gotta be converted to Jehovah, right? So why haven't you done that, right? And then after you can go branch on whatever from that, right? And and after if they don't listen to that, the second thing I would do is like because they proclaim that their father's Abraham, right? So after you can say like you guys proclaim your father's Abraham, right? Okay, but why aren't you guys not doing what Abraham did? Because if you guys proclaim to be a part of his seed, which is the Bible, it's those people that actually are part of his seed are those actually doing what he did, which is keeping covenant, eating clean. Well, and then you can go on about that, and then ask them why they're not keeping covenant, rebuke them about it, use the scriptures you guys usually do, and then if they don't listen to that, it's like you're gonna have to maybe like if you want, you can put some historical facts like how the Catholics created the Quran, how that there's actually over 30 different versions of the Quran because what the Muslims believe, they believe that oh no, there's only one Quran and it's perfect. Yeah, but there's only over 30 of them, not different translations when it comes to languages, right? It's like just different versions, like see the King James, NIV, NLT, kind of like that, right? So like oh, the Bible's corrupted. Okay, if the Bible's corrupted, why does your Quran say believe in it? So believe in a corrupted book? You guys use that as an excuse? That's not. That's just a shitty excuse. And in their own Quran, on the screen again, it says that the Messiah, right, which is their, but they just believe he's a prophet, right? He's a prophet, but they just believe he's only a prophet, right? It says that their Jesus guy comes back and judges, right? I mean, the Bible says the Messiah comes back and judges, and like literally, like in the Quran, this plagiarizes the Bible, right? It has the Red Sea splitting of the sea with Moses, right? They have our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, literally name for name, right? They have them our Messiah, right, in there, and they have Adam and Eve, right? Literally, they have, and then it goes more and more and more, right? And like right there, they just copied a lot of things from the Bible and just twisted it into their doctrine that actually supports how like why it came from the Catholics and how it came from the Catholics. Because have you noticed like these so I'm just gonna tell you this about like when I said like the Catholics created the Quran, right? Because they did. Basically, the Islam is like another branch of the Catholic doctrine, or like the Catholic belief, right? But it's just hidden from the world. So it's just basically another denomination, basically, but it's like very twisted. But like have you seen like in the Quran, there's a whole section devoted to Mary. Yep, a whole section, literally whole chapter, a whole section devoted to Mary. I don't really see that in the Bible. It talks about it sometimes, but not a whole devoted to Mary. No, and you see how the Muslims, right? They have their prayer beats and stuff, just like the Catholics, and how their women dress like the Catholic woman. So like, there's many things you can see, so many similarities. But also, if any of that stuff doesn't work, then you gotta pull out this card. It's gonna be you might get some backlash and stuff like that, but it's expected because they're gonna go be going crazy. You gotta pull out the Aisha card. I'll put the hadith number, right? Because the hadith, right, is basically like you see it with the Mormons, right? You see what okay, like the Bible's supposed to be the main book, right? But the Mormons have their own book, right? The Mormon book, right? The Book of Mormon. But they have to believe in the Bible and the Mormon book. If they don't believe in one or the other, they contradict themselves and they go against their own belief, right? So it's the same thing with Hadith. If they don't believe in the Hadith, right, they go against the Quran because they have to believe both. They can't say no. Right? So in the Hadith, I put the Hadith number. It says that Muhammad, when he was 50, around 60 years old, right, at that time, he had sex with Aisha when she was 9 years old, and before that, he married her when she was 6 or 7 years old. You're gonna run into people saying, "Oh, it was common back in the day." Da, da, da. Oh, da, da. Like, no, that's just disgusting. And also, an LGBTQ, right, and a certain part of it is what you see when it's like the blue, white, black, or brown color in the LGBTQ. It represents older men and women attracted to little boys and girls. So basically, since mom is attracted and marrying, having sex with little girls, he's a pedophile and he's LGBTQ. He's gay, right? He's basically a part of that community, LGBTQ. And also, I want to tell you this: in Islam, right? These when men are allowed to wear like this type of like paint. They say, "Oh, protect your eyes in the desert." Whatever, it's nonsense. You're allowed to put this ink all around your eye and stuff like that. You're allowed to wear this little basically makeup, make it like mascara basically, like eyeliner and stuff like that. So you're telling me men are allowed to wear makeup now? Muslims? Come on. So those are some pointers and some tips that you can use when it comes to rebuking Muslims. I hope this is helpful. I'll put all these things on the screen and stuff like that, so you can go look at it yourself and go and it yourself. But you guys, any other questions, brothers, sisters, or anyone else wants very curious about a bunch of things I've said? Just DM me and I'll help you all.